What's good, everyone? It's SG Beats, and in today's video we're going to be creating a UK drill beat in FL Studio. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright, so the first instrument we had was a piano, and this is what it looked like. I'll quickly play it through and run you through what I did in order to get these chords done, but this is how the piano sounds. So that was a chord progression right there, and it's very, very simple. All we did was we worked in G minor. This chord progression's in G minor, and we just picked up in each octave. We did the root note, which is G, G, G here, and we just used notes within the scale that would match the chord progression. So we used D in this case, an octave higher, so it sort of created a bit more. It gave it that brightness essentially, because if I just take this off here and then do a Control Z, sounds a little bit better with that D there. And we're just going down. One thing you want to note is that you don't want to move too much across notes. You don't want to make it melodic. You want to keep it very, very simple so that it's got that dark, aggressive vibe essentially. And this piano is essentially actually from one of the packs in FL Studio. If you go into your packs on your browser in your left hand side and you select instruments and keyboards, I think it is, and you just select the closed grand piano, that's all I'm using in this piano section of the beat. Then we have this dual choir, so if I play that by itself, so you can see it's just playing every second bar basically, and it's just simple pattern, just using notes within the scale of G minor, and yeah, really just going from there essentially. So that's the drill choir that I have. The next melody we have is just this simple bell that just plays every bar essentially at the start of every bar. So if I play it here, it's just simple bell. And that's all it does, is just keep playing every bar, and I just chop and change within the beat when I don't want it, when I do want it. But all three melodies together sounds sick, and it's so simple at the same time. So as you heard, that was a melody right there. Alright, the next thing we added was the hi-hat, or the counter snare, and this is the pattern we came up with. Yeah, so it's sounding hard there, but I'll just give you guys some tips and tricks in how to make your counter snares or hi-hats a little bit more interesting. What I normally do is I go for the normal UK drill bounce. If you want to see a video on how I make hi-hat patterns, let me know down in the comments below, and I can do that in a future tutorial. But essentially, after using your simple sort of hi-hat pattern, I just add filler notes. So you can see I've added a filler note right here, and I've reduced the velocity, so it sort of creates that bounce effect. And then you've got your normal slides. If you don't know, a simple way to make rolls is you just change it to 1/3 of a step, and you can start putting in notes that way, or just change it back to the 4/4 steps and place a note where you want the slide. Highlight the note, Control and click, and Alt and U, and that just makes it into a piano roll chopper. And here, where it says time multiplicator, you can change how fast you want the rolls. So if I wanted it let's play the beat. So I could have had it that long, or I could maybe change the time multiplier again. And you can see it's a little bit less, but obviously we don't want that. We want to reset it, cancel it, and I've already done it here. I think I used the third step for this one, and you can see I used the piano chopper for these ones here, but it's all up to you. Maybe give the velocities a bit of change as well to create some variation. You could even go to note pan and pan them out as much, different ways, I guess. Yeah, just do that to make it sort of unique. So that was the hi-hats. Now we get onto the snare. So if I open up the snare, very simple. Every third and then fourth on the next bar, and I've just added a couple extra ones just to give it a bit more bounce, but it's very, very simple anyways. Now we get onto the perk gunshot, which just adds a little effect. You'll see it coming here, just going to create a little effect. Ooh, that's hard. So that's just there to create some effects. Then we have another perk, just trying to fill in this space, create a bit more bounce. Ooh, yep. So just find space within the beat, and you should be good. And keep adding perks until you can. That's my motto. Just keep adding perks until the beat sounds hard and you've filled in all the space you can. With these drill beats, you just fill in space. I've made the melody so simple, so I've tried to use perks and obviously the 808 and kicks to make it sound real hard and aggressive. This is the next perk, the stutter. So that was the next perk. Then there's another perk that's like a bell type perk, and this sounds hard because I've created a sort of slide in to the note, and it sounds great. So you could hear it at the end there. Sounds hard. Yeah. Creates a bit more bounce. And I've also added clap. And this is just to accentuate some just before the snare hits, I believe. So if I go back to start. There you go. The snare hits and it just for the snare. Yeah. Just that extra bounce. Now we get onto the 808s. This is the part I know everyone's been waiting for. 808s and the kicks. This is what's going to create the beat, the UK drill beat. Yeah, baby! Alright, so the 808. All I did basically start off on the root note. What you can do is, what I normally do is copy the piano roll. So from the piano, copy the notes there and start creating, following the root notes from there, and just play around with it. So before you even create the slides, decide where you want the root note. So for here, then go back down to D. There you go. So just play around with the notes. Yeah, it sounds hard. So here you can see, if you ignore these parts where I've chopped the notes, the root notes, that's because I wanted to incorporate the slides. I've basically added the root notes for the 808 based on what I think would sound good. So the first bar, then the third bar, and then just before the fifth bar. If you want to add your slides, it's always best to add them at the end, just closer to the end of the full bars. So you've got a slide here, then it goes back to the root note. A little variation here, and you can see I've added majority of the slides at the end of the next set of 4 bars. So that's how it sounds, the full 808 pattern with the melody together. that's the 808. Now onto the kick. Kick, all I did was copy the 808, paste it onto the kick, and you can use Shift and D to make the note smaller, and I believe it's Alt and K. So if I go like this, Alt and K, it's a limiter transposer, and you select the note you want. But obviously I don't want that now because I've already done it, and that's how you get the kicks to match the 808. And all I did was add, I believe, one note here that doesn't play when the 808 plays, and it just adds that extra little punch into the mix. So if I play it with the 808, so you can see I just added this, I believe it's this 808. If I play it again, you can see just there, the 808 doesn't play there, and I just added an extra one there, and it creates that little punch in the mix. So that was the kick all done. Now, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment down below what you want to see in the next tutorial, and be sure to subscribe to my channel so that you can see future tutorials, turn on those post notifications. But without further ado, let's play the whole beat together. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Till next time, peace.